And in Sweden, I filmed the son of Turkish immigrants who had basically come to Sweden just to make cash. But the kids sort of went all haywire. So this guy was extremely talented. I mean, he was like the thief of Baghdad. Like he would steal the horse under the king, so to speak. He was amazing. He would just like climb up drain pipes and get into, like if there was a crack, he could get in. Like, he was amazing and very charming. Good-looking young lad, and all the connotations of the problems of because one of the conflict points between Swedish-minded people and the immigrants is that the immigrants usually are sort of dark-haired, swarthy-looking, well-built kids from all parts of the world. And they tend to be liked by the nice-looking blonde Swedish girls, while the Swedish men get really pissed off. I was shooting it with a friend of mine who's a cinematographer, who's an extremely talented camera guy who originates from Poland. And I really loved his pictures. But so he really created like nearly a feature-looking style. And he's like a great lover of noir, so he would light with one lamp and huge shadows go across people's faces, and it was really very cool. It was but the film, you know, if we speak about it specifically, didn't really catch much of the spontaneous documentary stuff that I'm so keen on. So I felt that was sort of a semi-success. And then I went to London and I found a black guy of Jamaican background in Brixton. Brixton, this is like 20 years ago. Looked totally different. The front line had just been burnt down after huge riots. And the whole place was twitchy. And but again, it was very stimulating. This kid was both a delinquent, he'd been stealing, he was training boxing because his brother was a boxer, his brother was practically a criminal, he was dealing in drugs and practically working as a hitman while being a boxer every now and then. And also this kid was a musician, so he knew he was very talented at singing and playing reggae music. And it was difficult to find these people. Like with him, I was hanging around all these little pool halls in the back streets of Brixton, and everybody was very suspicious. I was practically the only white person in the whole area. And finally, this kid actually suggested, I was sitting there staring at him playing pool, and he saw me looking. So in the end, he suggested that he'd play me for £1. And of course he won, and then he said, "You want another?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And so I got his whole story, and there was the whole story of how he had been sort of like a renegade musician, and the music teacher was very engaged in it because he was so talented. She was trying to get him back into school while the headmaster tried to just kick him out. And it's an interesting story. And that had more of a mix. It had a bit of the reenactments and a bit of and quite a lot of the genuine sort of documentary feel to it. And then I got to Spain, and that film really, I feel, is the most perfect mix of the reenactment. We actually reenacted how the guys steal a car, how they rip a necklace off. We just employed an extra, and then of course all the music, all the flamenco. I was practically adopted by the family, by the real gypsy family living in the shantytown. If I came late one afternoon, the mother would shout at me for not coming in time for eating lunch and stuff like that. And I said, yeah, fine, we got to take these shots, you know, she didn't give a damn about the shots. She wanted me to behave like part of the family, and that was her main concern, you know. And I feel like I have some really unique things in there, and I decided to just put it all out on YouTube.